Hey, welcome back. I'm your hostess, Mackenzie Quintana. Thanks for being here at the Genuine Ginger podcast. I need to come up with some more clever intros or whatever because I don't know. I always feel like I'm just like, hey, which I guess is fine. Anyways, if you're new here, thanks for being here. I'm here to share the things that I am learning and have learned that have helped me in life in every way. We cover a lot of different variety of topics here, and I like it that way. So I hope that you do too. If you'd like to learn more about me or connect more with me, I am on social media. I'm on most. I don't know. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I'm not super active on all of them, but I'm there. You can find me pretty much anywhere with either searching up my name, Mackenzie Quintana, or The Genuine Ginger. So, today we're gonna talk about the topic that I've been a little bit heated up about over the last couple days. Which I'm okay. I'm okay now. I'm not super heated up about it anymore. But I feel like it's one that needs to be shared. So. Little background story. Yesterday, I think I've shared here before that I homeschool my kids. This is our second year. Yes, this is my second year of homeschooling my kids. First year homeschooling all four of them. I have a preschooler, kindergartner, and a third and fourth grader. And I overall I love it. It's not without its hardships at times, but overall I love it. But it's a choice that I made, right? My kids could go to school. We have great public schools here. But something inside me told me that this was going to be better for our family, the better option for our family. And so I decided to do that. And anyways, so yesterday I was working through some schoolwork with a certain child, and it kind of got a little bit sticky. There was some emotions building up in both of us. This child was having a hard time with receiving some feedback from me of things that they needed to fix, and gratefully, in the past, this is not the first time that this has happened, and we have made progress. In the past, it's been, it has turned. There have been instances where it's turned into a full on, argument, or I don't know what the word is for it, but where there's contention felt in the home, and that didn't quite happen this time. It was leading that way, and finally this child just got up and left, which it was better. It was better that he did that than what has happened in the past. So overall, it was a win. I was proud of this child for doing that rather than sitting and arguing with me more and having it turn into a bigger deal. But anyways, this happened, and so this child got up and left, and I felt some anger well up inside me, and I wanted to scream. And so I got up and went into my room and laid on my bed and screamed. I screamed into my pillows like a little teenager. But it was actually very, very healing. Healing. It was, I needed to do that. We've talked about that before, of allowing ourselves to feel our emotions, and I felt the need to yell. And so rather than stuffing that inside, I let myself do that in a safe space. But as I was doing that, just a whole flood of emotions came up of feeling underappreciated as a mother. And so that's what I want to talk about today. And hopefully I'm just here to validate you. That's just kind of, I'm not I'm just here to validate you in feeling that way, if you are feeling that way currently or have ever felt that way. As I was laying in my bed crying and talking to God, and just kind of like, I'm doing all of these things and I feel like no one notices, and this is so hard and I need more support, and just, kind of just whatever was coming to my mind, I was just thinking it and speaking those words to God. And of course, I felt the word, I felt them, if you're new here, or a reminder for those, even if you aren't new here, when I say God, I try to use the pronoun they, because I believe that God is Heavenly Father and Heavenly Mother working together as one. And so I felt them say to me, I see you. I see you, and I get it. And especially feeling my Heavenly Mother, feeling her comfort, I felt her comfort, her comforting touch, and empathy of like, I really do know what you feel. And so and as always, I've come to realize that God wants me to share these moments that I experienced that for me are, a little bit personal, so that I can help others. And so I felt immediately like I needed to share that on my stories. And so I did. I just wrote in my stories, I just said, if you are feeling underappreciated as a mom, just know you're not alone, and know that God sees you, and they recognize your efforts, and they know how you feel, and they know the weight that you carry, and they do appreciate you. They do appreciate your efforts. And so, I felt that, and I felt comfort in that. And then I went on to vent a little bit on a Marco Polo to one of my cousins about just all the ways that I was feeling underappreciated. And so I'm going to share a little bit of that here with you, not necessarily to vent, but again, just to maybe help you feel validated and help you feel like, oh, I get, I'm not the only one who feels this way, because I feel like, I know my husband appreciates me, and I know that he understands, he sees a lot of what I do, but in reality, I think the only other people that could really understand what I'm feeling, and the extent of the weight and the type of things that I go through are other moms. So that's what I'm wanting to share here today, is just, and I feel like it is helpful, because I've in sharing these things with my cousin, she's like, oh my gosh, this is so relatable. This is so, it's just been fun to chat with her about it a little bit. And so I just felt like I would get on here and chat about it. So some things that I was feeling, underappreciated, like I mentioned, homeschool, especially, that was the kind of the situation that brought it up. And it was just like, I am choosing to do that for my kids, right? Like I could let them go to public school, and I don't think there's anything wrong with public school. I'm not trying to, throw shade or anything. If your children go to public school, I know that every family needs to do what is best for them, and so that's going to look different for everyone. But there's sacrifices that I am making because I am choosing to homeschool my kids, even though that's a choice that I have made and I want to do that. Like, there's still sacrifices that I make, and they're big sacrifices. Like, I don't spend much time by myself at all most weeks. Like, even when I am in my alone time, it's I'm still not alone. I'm just closing myself in my room or my closet or my office or whatever, like my kids are home. I'm also sacrificing not working at a part-time job and, making extra money for our family. And so, like, even though that's a choice that I'm making and I desire to do it, it's still a sacrifice. And and I know that there are many of you who maybe it's not homeschooling, but it's other sacrifices that you make, even though, it's something that you choose to do for your family and you know that it's best for them. It's still a huge sacrifice for you. Another thing that I was sharing with her, just because we kind of got on, my cousin, we kind of just got on a little bit of a rant. She started sharing some things that she was feeling underappreciated by, and just like those things that, that as moms, it's like, man, if I wasn't here, like my family would fall apart, right? And she shared a good point though, because she said, I think there's no way that our husbands could ever know what we do, because they aren't doing the things that we do, just like we never fully could appreciate all that they do, because we don't know what they are doing. Like, until our roles are completely swapped for probably, a pretty extended period of time, we will never be able to fully appreciate and understand what each other is going through as husband and wife, or the weight that is on us. And anyways, that was just a good realization for me, that like, I feel like right now there's a lot of awareness on social media of like the mental load that women carry, right? And which I think is great. I think it's great that we're recognizing that as wives and as moms, we do have a really big mental load. And I saw a reel or a post or something that was just like kind of validating fathers and husbands as well. It was like, yes, like there's a lot of things that we feel like we're just expected to do, but also there's an expectation on our husbands as well. Like at least for me, I just expect my husband to get up and go to work every day that he has work. Like that's just something that I expect him to do. But that's a choice that he's making, right? Like he is choosing to do that. And so even though it's what's expected of him, like he still has the choice not to. And so I can still, appreciate that he does that for me. Just like he can appreciate that, expect me to take care of our kids and appreciate that I do that. Anyways, I forgot where I was going with that, but it's just, I guess, good awareness that like, we're not the only ones that might be feeling underappreciated. Our spouses might feel that way too. But as moms, there's a lot of just little things that we are expected to be doing that goes unrecognized. And I shared this example with my cousin, and I'm going to share it here, and it's a little bit embarrassing. You're going to get a really good look inside of what my brain is like. It's really simple, but it's really silly, but like I said, I'm hoping that it just helps you feel validated, because I'm sure there's probably other really little silly things maybe that you are the same way about. So just again, this is just one of those silly things so we have a fridge, right, that has an automatic ice and water dispenser, and it doesn't work. The ice dispenser on it doesn't work. It hasn't worked for a couple years. My husband's tried to fix it, but just hasn't been able to figure it out, and we just haven't wanted to pay for someone to come look at it. So that means that I make the ice, right? We have 3 ice trays, and I fill them up, and then I empty them into the ice disposal thing in the freezer, so that we can still like get ice from the ice dispenser thing, right? If that makes sense. So like that was something that I did all the time. And every time I did it, I was just like, ugh, like it just bothered me, because, well, I get annoyed when I have things that don't do what they're supposed to do. Right? Like I have a fridge that is supposed to make ice and it's not making ice. And so that is annoying to me. But whatever. And so, but then the other thing is, this is so silly, I know. But so we have 3 ice trays, right? And they are old ice trays. And I know that I can buy new ice trays, but I just haven't. And it might just be because there's this little bitter, spiteful part of me that just doesn't want to do that. But because these ice trays are old, some of them are cracked. And I don't know why. Okay, I don't know the science. I don't know why this is the way that it is, but all I know is that because I have done this for several years now, where I have had to fill the ice trays and empty them, I know that these ice trays have to be in a specific order for the ice to come out. They have to be stacked in a specific order for the ice to be able to pop out good. If they are not, I don't know why, okay? I don't know why. But if they are not stacked in this particular order, the most cracked one has to go on top, and then the least cracked one is on the bottom, and then the other one is in the middle. If they aren't in this order, when you try to like twist them so that the ice cubes come out, like they just crumble. The ice just crumbles. I don't know why, okay? It just is. It just is the law of my ice trays, okay? Because I've experienced this. I've figured this out over the years of doing this. And the other thing that no one else knows about, okay, I'll get to that later. The other thing is you can't fill the ice trays up too much because then the ice cubes are too big and then they get stuck when they're coming out of the ice dispenser. And then the ice gets stuck in it, but then most of the time the kids don't realize that it's stuck, and so then the ice is just stuck in the dispenser, and then it starts to melt, and then there's a puddle of water all over the floor by my fridge. Again, these things that no one knows, no one recognizes but me, because I'm the one that has to deal with it every day, and it's so simple. But it was just so, and finally, like, it's been, I don't know, a couple weeks now, I guess, finally, like, maybe like a month ago, I was like, this is ridiculous. This is not something that I need to be doing. That, like, I don't need to be feeling this stress from these ice trays every single day. I'm going to delegate. And so I assigned a chore to one of my children that every day their job was to empty and refill the ice trays. And then I told them so then I had to tell them, look, there's this order of the ice trays and blah, blah. And it was my oldest son. He's just looking at me like I was the craziest person in the world. I was like, I don't know why. Okay. I don't know why it is the way it is. I just know. And he was just like, I don't know. He was kind of like putting up a fight about it. And I was like, fine, you know what? I will just number the trays. And I was just like, I could have done this a long time ago. Anyways, so I wrote with permanent marker, I wrote the order that the trays need to be in. And I explained to him that he can't fill them up too much. So now I'm not the only one in my house that knows the law of the ice trays, which feels so great. And I'm so glad that I was able to delegate that so that it doesn't have to stress me out every day. But it was just one of those things that as a mom, it was like, and then the other thing that I shared with my cousin, I realized like I don't know, it's been a couple years since I was folding laundry. Like as the mother, I am expected to know where every item in my house is. And I do. Like just stop and think about that for a minute. Like, you know, how many times a day does a kid come in? Mom, I can't find my shoes. Oh, one of them is in the hallway and the other one is under the table in the kitchen. Okay. Mom, I can't find my pencil. Oh, it's poking out of the ottoman in the living room. Like, you know, just literally everything. Well, I mean, I at least me, I can't say that 100%. I know, you know, where every single item is 100% of the time, but I would probably say like 95% of the time, if someone asks me where something is, I can usually tell them. And just stop and think about that for a minute. How many items are in your home? How many pencils? How many socks? How many remote controls? Like, you know, like just how many little things are in your home that you, in your brain, have the knowledge of where they are, where they're supposed to be, how they operate. Like, you are amazing. It's no wonder that as moms, we get a little stressed out at times, right? We get a little overstimulated. We have all this information in our brains that we're expected to know, and we do know. And it's like a lot of it is just really useful information, but yet we're still expected to know it. So yay us. And just go us for, you know, like yesterday, I was, you know, upset about what happened with my kid, and then we just keep going, right? Like even though we may feel underappreciated, what do? We just keep doing the things because we're moms, and that's what we're expected to do, and we love our families, and so we do them. And so today I am just a huge shout out to you, Mama. You are amazing. I am so proud of you. And I see you. And more importantly, God sees you. I love ya. Talk to you next time.